Hours after supposedly breaking the ceasefire, is Trump already regretting the U.S. strikes in the Strait of Hormuz? Has Iran's IRGC just sent a brutal message to Washington by downing Trump's MQ-9 and opening fire on an F-35 jet and an RQ-4 drone in its skies? A U.S. stealth jet had to scramble out of Iran's airspace under IRGC fire, exposing how quickly this standoff can spin out of control. Is Trump now scrambling for answers as Iran exacts revenge for the attack on its main naval base, turning his pressure campaign into another regional disaster? Iran's IRGC has claimed it shot down a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone over the Gulf region, framing the move as a direct response to American pressure in the area. The IRGC also asserted it opened fire on an F-35 jet and an RQ-4 surveillance drone that it says entered Iranian airspace, casting the incident as a violation of its sovereignty. According to Tehran's account, firing at the F-35 forced the stealth fighter to pull back, a narrative Iran is using to project strength against U.S. air power. Iranian guards warned they reserve the right to respond to any U.S. ceasefire violations, setting the stage for more confrontation if Washington pushes the limits. These threats and claims came as U.S. Israeli strikes hit Iranian vessels near the Strait of Hormuz on May 25, sharply escalating tensions around the vital chokepoint. Iranian state media reported that several Iranian nationals were killed in those strikes, a detail Tehran is likely to use to justify any future retaliation. U.S. Central Command, however, said the strikes were aimed at missile sites and boats allegedly laying mines, framing the operation as a move to secure regional shipping. A CENTCOM spokesperson confirmed the military operation, with Fox News reporting details surrounding the latest American action. Captain Tim Hawkins said, and I quote, "U.S. forces conducted self-defense strikes in southern Iran today to protect our troops from threats posed by Iranian forces. Targets included missile launch sites and Iranian boats attempting to emplace mines. U.S. Central Command continues to defend our forces while using restraint during the ongoing ceasefire." Unquote. The strikes reportedly targeted Bandar Abbas, Iran's critical naval hub and a major strategic military installation nationwide. The escalation followed Trump's earlier declaration announcing major combat operations against Iran beginning from February 28 this year. Washington claimed the operation specifically targeted threats posed against American troops, military assets, and regional strategic interests abroad. CENTCOM insisted the strikes were defensive measures designed to deter further attacks and protect American regional military operations. The renewed confrontation unfolded while Trump simultaneously pushed diplomatic efforts aimed at securing a broader nuclear agreement with Tehran.
We took that over in one day, and we lost no one. In Operation Epic Fury, we lost 13 wonderful souls, wonderful, special people. These incredible men and women gave their lives to ensure that the world's #1 state sponsor of terror will never have a nuclear weapon. Oh, and they won't. They will never have a nuclear weapon. I'm sure you know that.
This came as Washington maintained a blockade on Iran until negotiations conclude one way or the other, according to Trump. Trump also signaled a softer tone regarding Iran's enriched uranium stockpile through a recent Truth Social post online. The U.S. president said he prefers Iran's uranium be destroyed locally or under strict international supervision elsewhere internationally. Reports suggest Iran is seeking guarantees from China and may consider relocating enriched uranium stockpiles there for security. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "The enriched uranium will either be immediately turned over to the United States to be brought home and destroyed or preferably, in conjunction and coordination with the Islamic Republic of Iran, destroyed in place or at another acceptable location, with the Atomic Energy Commission, or its equivalent, being witness to this process and event." Unquote. Despite the exchange of fire, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio insisted that a deal remained within reach, signaling Washington still wants diplomacy on the table. The latest escalation unfolded just as Iranian negotiators arrived in Doha for peace talks, creating a stark contrast between battlefield tension and diplomatic theater. At the same time, oil prices wobbled as markets reacted to fears that fresh clashes could threaten traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, the artery for a large share of global crude.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.
पच्चीस करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.